Part 1. And lo, in the year of our Lord 1198, Innocent III was chosen as the new Roman Catholic Pope, and his first order of business was to issue a call for yet another crusade to the Holy Land to recapture Jerusalem from the grasp of those no-good, low-down Muslim infidels.
How can I make the good first impression around here? I know, I send these dopes on another crusade.
Pope Innocent III sent his envoys all throughout Western Europe to recruit kings and princes to take the cross and become leaders of the Fourth Crusade, and implicitly told the envoys to make sure not to recruit any riffraff or homeless bums because he wanted a nice crusade.
And remember, no riffraff. I wanted this to be the nice crusade. Yeah.
But the best Crusaders is the riffraff. Yes, he's right.
Sadly, all the kings and princes were currently engaged in their own personal struggles, with Spain tied up with fighting insurgents, the French and English busy fighting each other, the Italians fighting each other for control of trade routes, and the Germans refusing to take orders from an Italian pope because they had their own pope. It looked as though the Fourth Crusade was doomed to fail, even before it started. But then some priests went to a tournament being held by Theobald of Champagne in northern France, and convinced a bunch of drunk second-tier nobles to take the cross and go on a crusade.
And if you go on the crusade, God will provide you with free beer.
Under the influence of mass alcohol consumption, Theobald of Champagne, Boniface of Montferrat, Baldwin of Flanders, Simon de Montfort, Louis of Blois, Conrad of Halberstadt, and some lesser nobles that were hanging out at the tournament all drunkenly agreed to join forces and recapture the Holy Land from the Muslim infidels.
I would kick all those infidels' asses and make a pee-pee on the corpses.
Fuck yeah. I could single-handedly kick all those infidels' asses.
You can't even wipe your own ass without your mouth.
Since it was his party, Theobald of Champagne was chosen as the leader by the other nobles, and plans were laid out to attack Egypt, perceived as the soft underbelly of the Ayyubid dynasty, which would conceivably force the Muslims to willingly give up their claim to Jerusalem.
I is very excited to go on the crusade with you guys.
Ooh, somebody's got your Crusading bun there.
These guys are the leaders? Shit! We're fucked. The biggest problem facing the Crusaders was logistics. How would these second-tier nobles be able to transport such a massive endeavor? There was only one place that was capable of providing them with enough transport ships to make it a reality, and that was the city-state of Venice.
Everything in Venice is like a government. Every time you think it's gonna get moving, you hit another jam.
So Crusader envoys went to Venice in March 1201 to meet their leader, a 90-year-old blind cleric named Enrico Dandolo, the Doge of Venice himself. to strike a deal with the Italians to provide them with enough ships to transport an estimated 33,000 Crusaders, plus horses and gear, to Egypt.
Hey, Doge, there's a bunch of dopey Franks here to see you. They want to buy a boat.
Stop shouting! I'm a blind and not a deaf, you stunard.
The Doge whipped out his pocket calculator and tallied up the cost of such a grand endeavor, and told the envoys Venice would build the ships, provide veteran sailors to man them, and have free pizza on Fridays while out at sea, for the handsome sum of 85,000 silver marks, which is about $15,000 USD.
It's gonna cost us 85,000 silver marks? It seems a little steep for a boat ride.
Venice make the best boats. You one of the best, right? If you want it cheaper, go to Genoa.
The Crusader envoys, who seriously overestimated their numbers, agreed to the Doge's offer and said they would all return to Venice in a year's time with all the troops and all the loot. The envoys then happily returned to France to tell everyone the good news that the Crusade was a go.
85,000 silver marks? That's a lot of moolah! Maybe we could start a GoFundMe page.
Then things started to go awry. Theobald of Champagne died unexpectedly, so the nobles chose Boniface of Montferrat as their new leader. But a bunch of French knights were like, "We're not taking orders from a stupid Italian," and quit the group and went off crusading on their own.
That's a typical of the French army. You only see the backsides.
When the Crusaders showed up in Venice in May 1202, there were only about 12,000 of them, much less than they originally planned for. And to make matters worse, they only had about 35,000 of the 85,000 silver marks that was owed to the Venetians. The Doge was, of course, fucking furious.
Jeez, I could have swore there was more money in there.
Oh, that's no good. Now I gotta get a nuncio to break your thumbs.
So, big dilemma. The Crusaders are flat broke and stuck in Italy, and Venice is out a whole lot of moolah. The Doge then suggests that if the Crusaders help him retake the port town of Zara and return it to be under Venice's control, then maybe he could let them slide on the huge debt they still owed.
And let's make them attack Zara for us as a permit. See?
Make them pay us back at the 18% interest rate.
Can we make them eat the dirt?
The big problem with that was that Zara had already allied itself with the Hungarian kingdom, and they were all fellow Christians to boot. But the Crusaders were desperate and in dire straits, so they had little choice but to accept the Doge's offer and agreed to attack Zara because it was their only chance of making this new crusade a reality.
Okay, we'll attack Zara for you, but it just feels dirty.
It's a Venice. All the business we do is dirty.
Some of the Crusaders, led by Simon de Montfort, were morally opposed to attacking their Christian brethren and refused to go along. So they left the crusade and found their own route to the Holy Land and did some sightseeing. But the majority stayed behind and prepared to attack Zara.
Bye-bye, chickens!
Fucking pussy French bitches! Go home!
We don't need any French homos anyhow. Bye!
Just ignore them and keep walking. It's on the way.
The Crusaders arrived at Zara on November 10th, 1202, and began their assault on the city. Townspeople hung large banners with crosses on them from the walls to show that they were Christian too. But a deal's a deal, so the Crusaders attacked them anyway and forced the city to surrender.
Why are you attacking us? We're Christian too. What's wrong with you idiots?
You may be Christians, but you ain't the right kind of Christian.
When Pope Innocent III heard the news, he had a high holy shit fit and excommunicated everyone involved. To keep the Crusaders' morale high, the leaders of this endeavor hid the Pope's scathing letter from the rank and file and never told them anything about the mass excommunication.
They attack Zara? Oh, how irony is wasted on the stupid.
The Crusade's spiritual leaders then went to Rome to meet with the Pope to beg for forgiveness and let him know it was the Venetians' fault. Realizing that there would be no crusade without Crusaders, Pope Innocent III unexcommunicated them, but not the Venetians, because he was still mad at them.
It was the Venetians' fault. They say if we not help, then we ceases.
Really? Son of a bitch. Okay, I'll let you off the hook.
Boniface of Montferrat split before the Crusaders attacked Zara, so he wouldn't be excommunicated, and went to visit his cousin, Philip of Swabia. While he was hanging out there, he met Philip's brother-in-law, Alexios IV Angelos, the son of deposed and blinded former emperor Isaac II Angelos.
A nice place you got here, cousin. A fancy schmancy, yeah.
You think this is ritzy? You should see his place.
When Boniface told them of the Crusaders' plight, Alexios IV said he would be happy to pay off debt owed the Venetians and would give them 200,000 silver marks, a whole bunch of McDonald's gift certificates, and at least 10,000 Byzantine soldiers to help them get this crusade off the ground.
This guy is so full of a shit. His eyes is brown. Dude, I'm so rich, I shit money. I smell my ass. It smells like a gold.
In return for all his goodwill, all the Crusaders had to do was sail over to Constantinople and topple his uncle, Alexios II Angelos, who usurped the throne, and then restore Alexios IV's dad as the rightful emperor, and make young Alexios his new co-emperor. Easy peasy, piece of cake. Boniface and Alexios IV went to Venice and told the other Crusaders and Venetians about their plan. The Doge was all in, as were most of the Crusaders. But some were having a hard time justifying attacking fellow Christians yet again, so they quit and went home to contemplate their faith.
Dudes, I know people. If you help me, I get you date with the Kardashian sister. Oh, I like the one with the big ass. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
More cushion under the tushy, less pushing when you smooshy. Yeah.
The Doge then held a big gaudy ceremony, and he himself took the cross and vowed to go on the crusade as well. Some people say the Doge planned this all along to increase Venice's trading monopoly in the Mediterranean, and to exact revenge and pay back the Byzantines for the massacre of the Latins that happened in Constantinople back in 1182.
Oh yeah! Tonight we're gonna party like it's a 1099 bitches!
And lo, in April, in the year of our Lord 1203, about 10,000 Crusaders, 10,000 Venetians, and Alexios IV climbed aboard the Venetian ships and set sail for Constantinople to undertake the righteous and noble cause of convincing the Byzantines to return Alexios IV, the rightful heir, and his dad to the throne.
Oh, I love boat rides. Oh, it's so romantic.
Oh, great. Who let the homo on the boat? Well, now, this is getting pretty crazy, right? Thousands of Christian Crusaders casting aside their original plans to attack the infidels in order to reclaim Jerusalem, to attack fellow Christians to pay off a debt instead. Honestly, what could possibly go wrong? Hope you enjoyed part 1 of Holy Crap, the Fourth Crusade. Be sure to check out part 2 to see how this wacky episode of history pans out. All I can tell you is, hang on to your curious